What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the economic calendar going into next week, what's going on with other factors involving Tesla and affecting the markets, and what you should be looking out for as time progresses on the charts. But before I begin the devil's information, before I talk about Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, and all these other tickers, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon in just a couple of days. Anyways, for Tesla, I just want to mention that Tesla has this very, very interesting looking structure developing. We are seeing Tesla drop quite a bit after getting this rejection from this 179 area, and we have broken below this rising wedge that Tesla had right over here. So after getting this break, Tesla's come all the way down to about 165 in the morning, especially because of some more bad news that came out. And then Tesla tried to rebound today. I did say that this was likely going to happen in my earlier video, and Tesla does have more potential to try to like fill its gap above, so long as we don't get any bad news. So I'm going to break down some levels on Tesla and talk about SPY and the others. Let's first talk about some data. So for Monday, March 25th, we don't really have much data coming out. We just have a couple of Fed speakers and then just some bill auctions. So very minor data on Monday. Same thing with Tuesday. It's actually a little bit more serious on Tuesday since we have, at least technically speaking, some housing data, not to mention our important manufacturing numbers. So we have some important data coming out on Tuesday, but it's not that insane. Wednesday's a very, very quiet data day. There's not much coming out for Wednesday. For Thursday, we have some important data. We have important jobs numbers and GDP numbers, not to mention the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Reports. So that's very important. And Friday is another very important day because we have PCE data coming out, not to mention Jerome Powell giving a speech at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So pretty wild week. I would say that Monday is once again a very, very minor day. Tuesday is a bit more serious thanks to manufacturing numbers. Wednesday is a very minor day. Thursday is very important with very, very tough data. Same thing with Friday. So the end of the week is going to be pretty crazy with big data coming out and Jerome Powell giving a speech. So I can't wait to see how things go. I think the ending of the week will have more volatility than this ending to this week because yesterday and today the market was just kind of flat for the most part. We did see some pumps here and there and also sideways price action. But finally, I think that the market's getting established for a much bigger move. So I'll break down what that move is in just a few minutes. I do want to mention that SPY had just under 500,000 calls expiring and over 1.2 million puts expiring with the 2.63 puts to call ratio. The majority of people had puts, and as a result, the market kind of held up. It was very choppy, leading to a lot of options just losing their premiums. And it was very, very hard on people who were trying to hold 0 day to expirations. For the fear and greed index, we're still on a pretty high greed. We're very close to extreme greed. Hasn't really shifted much. Other indicators are still at their extremes, but we'll have to see if there are any changes to our put and call option ratios and things like that. I also want to add that looking at this right here, looking at earnings whispers, this is what our economic calendar is going to look like. These are the earnings coming out for next week. In case you're interested in looking at them, I'm not going to cover everything, of course. Most of these are very, very minor, but if you're interested, here are some of them. And besides that, I just want to say something very important about the media. The media has been on fire lately, continuing to bash Tesla over and over and over again. It is not just redundant, but it's absolutely insane how much and how far they'll go to just attacking Tesla from every point of view possible, every direction. It's absolutely insane. So there was news coming out just yesterday about how Elizabeth Warren was urging the SEC to investigate Elon Musk and Tesla, as in her opinion, Tesla is not really being run by the board in a very, very collective way, but it's more just about Elon Musk and doing what's best in his own personal benefits. She can make a point. She could be right. She could be wrong. It's up to you to decide. I'm not going to make that claim. I just want to call that out. Tesla saw a little pop and drop thanks to that. And then this morning, we got a big gap down because more bad news came out involving Chinese numbers. So the sales in China went down. We actually saw a bit of a decrease in those. I actually showed some charts in my morning video, so check that out if you guys want to see that. And then after that, the media just started screaming that Tesla's overall production output has been cut. Tesla is anticipating less growth, if anything, in China, and it's not the best of news. And that's part of the reason why Tesla gapped down quite a bit. Now, although Tesla gapped down, I kind of priced that in early on, started pushing as the day went on, but it hasn't really done much. Despite that, there's headlines coming out today and this morning that Elon Musk's $250 billion Tesla losing streak takes another, lurch down. A lot of these major headlines, they just love to bash Tesla. Tesla's coming down. It's such a horrible company. It's dropping. It's this and that. It's down 31%, right? But you have to remember that firstly, this is not something that's like surprising. We were talking about potential downside for Tesla, considering the facts that there's a lot of things going on in the economy right now. High interest rates are very negative for certain companies like EVs, and there's nothing that Tesla could have done outside of its control to really, uh, you know, kind of offset that. At least for the time being, it's like out of their control. It's out of their power. But for the media to just bash Tesla, the reason why they're doing this is because I believe that these companies, first off, get a lot of views, a lot of clicks by just bashing Tesla, talking Tesla since this is such like a very hot stock. And then on top of that, this is going to benefit shorts because the shorts want there to be more bad news. The shorts want Tesla to drop like crazy because they'll make money. And then once the stock drops, they start buying the dips and make money the way up as well. So it's going to benefit them. If you want to play Tesla, you have to be open to playing both sides. If you're against shorting Tesla in general, that's also your choice. I know a lot of people are like that. Completely understandable. But just know that if you're playing with just a few $1,000s or $10,000 or anything like that, even $100,000, that's nothing compared to Tesla's massive market cap. It's not going to affect the stock much. So, it's your choice. You can do whatever you want, but I just wanted to make that very clear. As far as Tesla goes, there's been a lot of competition in China, a lot of negative news coming out about that, especially with competition and slowing demand. And that's part of why we ended up seeing these big changes. Analysts are also cutting their deliveries expectations for Tesla. We saw them actually cut them from like 500,000 to under 490,000. I'm seeing some saying like 481,000 seems like the consensus for Wall Street. Others are saying something different. So my point is, there's been a lot of bad news. The media loves to bash Tesla, and that's why sometimes it could be hard to predict what Tesla's going to do. Because if we do have a bullish signal, it could lead to like a little pop, followed by a big drop if there's a bad piece of news, which could trump technicals. So an example is yesterday, I was saying that Tesla had more upside potential. If you look at the share price, Tesla definitely did have the upside potential right over here. Because yesterday we saw during the pre-market session, we saw Tesla push all the way up to almost 190 a share, not 190, 180 a share. Then Tesla started to come down and just continued to drop. If anything, basically it popped and dropped after the Elizabeth Warren news. And then today I said that Tesla has more downside potential, and that ended up playing out. And then once we opened, I said that Tesla would likely see a bounce, and that's what happened too. So, all of these predictions have come true. Tesla is showing some resilience despite all this bad news. But I want to warn you all to be careful because of how impactful the media is and how manipulated Tesla is as well. But from a technical standpoint, I do believe that Tesla has potential to try to push a little higher and try to fill this gap. It showed a lot of strength today, especially compared to the market. So technically speaking, I could see at least 172 being tested, 172.5 to 173.75. I do see Tesla pushing a little higher above 172. But if we were to end up projecting and losing 170, this would be because of the news. So as long as there's no bad news, I do see at least 173.75 to 172 on Tesla. If there is bad news, that's going to be the exception. But otherwise, I do see a little strength in this stock for now. But I want to call out SPY now. SPY looks like it's going to be testing 520 flat, but we'll have to see if we get a bounce off that 520 zone and try to break above this white trend line to turn bullish, or do we end up losing 520 and start sinking to 518? We are looking a bit more bearish now, so just to be safe, we'll have to see if that ends up being the case. We had a head and shoulders like structure right here. We got a little pop and drop today. So we'll see if SPY continues to sell off. It is going to likely test 520. We'll see if we get a bounce there or not. If we fail to bounce, a bigger drop is coming, guys. So just be prepared to be safe. Excuse me. On the QQQ, I'm seeing something very similar. The QQQ is still kind of in this range. It kind of popped and dropped. Now, one could argue I have an inverse head and shoulders form. This is like a left shoulder. This could be a right shoulder. But if we have to get a bounce very soon on the QQQ, we have to try to bounce back up and break past 447.5 to turn bullish. If we fail to break that high, we continue to sink, watch 444 as key support. If we lose that, a bigger drop is coming all the way down towards 440, in my opinion. So I'm very open-minded to this. I know both possibilities are probable, but we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. For Apple, in my opinion, is looking not the best. It did form a double bottom. I was trying to rebound it, but I did call that out. Now it's coming back down, so it's still very stationary, still very flat. And if this is forming like a bear flag, there could be some downside coming again to Apple. So watch 170.9 as key support. I'm going to be watching that as support. If we bounce off that, we could continue to consolidate. If we lose 170.9, a bigger drop is coming. So I'll be watching for that as well. And then last but not least, we have the notorious Nvda. Nvidia is looking bullish in my opinion because we have this nice accumulation structure and a bounce off bullish news. And now that we're consolidating up here and we got a nice close, I see potential for this to go all the way up towards this imbalance high, very close to 960, maybe a little bit under like the 950s. So I do see a little more upside coming. We'll be watching to see if we get that nice push. Nvidia definitely has more potential, so we'll have to see how it goes. With that being said, I just want to thank you all so much for listening. I hope you guys have an absolutely incredible rest of the day. Please remain calm, cool, and collected. Do what you have to do, and I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow for another update video. All right, so for Tesla, it's showing some strength right now. It could continue to push so long as there's no bad news. It could push a little higher. If we get bad news, it's going to get in the way, but I still have some bullish signals that are suggesting we might push a little higher. So watch for that on Tesla. We have this imbalance to fill and such. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. Please take care, do what you have to do, and I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow. Do what you have to do, guys. Enjoy the weekend, and peace out.